Hi, I'm Rita K. Davis, and I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia at Sweet Lounge for the Sweet Jazz Series. We've got Calvin Richardson up tonight, and I had the opportunity to sit down and chat with him about where his music inspiration comes from and what keeps him going.
You make me feel.
How you doing? I'm Rita K. Davis, and we're here in Atlanta, Georgia at Sweet Lounge at the Sweet Jazz Series with the Mr. Calvin Richardson. I have to say Mr. because you are dapper. I mean.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So when I get real dapper, I'm expect everybody from now on to say Mr. Calvin
Mr.
Richardson when you walk
Calvin
up to me.
Richardson, exactly.
No
yes.
problem.
So I'm familiar with your music. For those who aren't familiar with Calvin Richardson, tell us, how did you get your start?
Well, I started singing in the church a long time ago. You know, I started out in a gospel group with Casey and JoJo from what the world know now is Casey and JoJo, and then from Jodeci.
Okay.
And you know, it's just a continuation of you know, just singing in quartet groups, and I formed the R&B group after they went up and became Jodeci, and you know, the story goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, you know what? You got the neo soul vibe going on. You got R&B going on. We're here, you know, rocking with the jazz crowd right now. Tell me, from when you started, as you see music evolve, how do you stay true to your sound, the Calvin Richardson sound?
Well, you know, early on I was able to identify who Calvin Richardson was, you know, and I guess, you know, people had to become convinced of who Calvin Richardson was because there was a diverse, I would say, on my first album. We worked with a lot of different producers, and they was trying to find the sound. And at the end of the day, they had to come back to me. You know what I mean? To just let me be true to who I am, and you know, and it's just soul music. It's the stuff that I grew up on. You know, music that make you the instrumental make you feel a certain way. You know, vocals, and the way that I sing the vocals.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily just the lyrics, but you know, the lyrics are important. But you know, the way that I sing. The vocal delivery, you know, it makes you feel as well. So, you know, that's soul music. It tugs on you, you know?
Yes, and let's talk about, you know, the way that you sing, your style, how you found your style. Who's your inspiration? Because when I hear your music, I think of the swag of Charlie Wilson. You know, you got a little Bobby Womack, Al Green, I hear that. I know Faces in there somewhere, Babyface. Who's your inspiration?
Those are all the people. So funny.
I didn't want to say them all, but I'm like, I hear all of
It's funny,
that.
you know, Charlie Wilson with a Gap band, Burn Rubber, that's the first, well, it was a 45 back then, record that I ever bought, you know. And my mom bought it for me. You know, I was just a little kid, but I loved Gap band was just so huge, and you know, Charlie's vocals then and now, it's just amazing, you know. And you know, Bobby Womack, grew up listening to that, you know, from deep down south. Monroe. We claim Charlotte, but you know, Charlotte was the major city, but I'm from Monroe, a little country town. And we call that fish fry music. So
Fish fry music,
we
I
listen
love
to a lot of it, the Al Green stuff, you know, and yeah, you touched on a lot of them. Marvin Gaye, yeah.
But you got to do something really special with Bobby Womack. What was it?
Well, I was able to do a tribute to Bobby Womack in 2010. Same year he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and you know, I got nominated for a couple Grammys for that. You know, it was, you know, I kind of channeled Bobby when I did it, and you know, I got as close to him as I could get. You know, because I was a little reluctant in the beginning when I was called upon to take on the project, but you know.
Why are you reluctant?
Well, because it's hard to take a great body of work, and
Big responsibility.
it is. You know, it's you know, it's one thing if you come out and you just do like most people do. They'll just do one song, they'll do a cover, but if you do a whole body of work, it's a lot more pressure, you know.
Right.
And so, but me being the soul singer that I am, again, like I said, like I know how to tap into certain things, certain emotions, the delivery of certain lyrics or whatever. So I was able to, I say channel Bobby, become Bobby while I was in this studio recording, and worked well for me.
That's a big accomplishment.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Yeah,
on that.
thank
That was
you.
wonderful. Now, you know, we got Calvin Richardson, the singer, the musician, producer, songwriter, and the creator, because I know this hat right here is significant to you too as well.
It is.
Yes.
You own it. You own it. Yeah. But you know, I've always, had been partial to hats. My grandfather, he was a hat man, and so, when I was a young kid, he sat me down, put one of his hats on my head, and it made me, I don't know, it just made me feel like I was the man.
The man.
Yeah.
Mister.
And I always wanted to feel that. You know what I mean? Once he
yes.
took it off, I kept, I always wanted to grab it and put it back on my head because, and so. I started wearing hats all the time, and people started calling me that cat in the hat. I got my last album. I did a photo shoot for that, and I didn't have a hat on at all. I was just bald, but it was a little uncomfortable for me. But it is what it is. So I started my own hat line. Went back to wearing my hats. I had so many hats still in my house, and so I figured I partnered up with a company and started my own hat line called the Sea Rich Hat Collection. It's just summer fedoras right now. I have 4 different colors. We got blue, white, tan, and black.
They're fly.
Thank you.
Great job.
Yeah. And,
I'm loving that.
Yeah, when you're not feeling that fly, you can put on something fly. Your clothes say a lot about a person. Your hat, it make you feel a certain type of way.
Right.
You put on a fly hat, you feel fly.
Right. Absolutely. Right.
And
exactly.
so, yeah.
Wonderful. No, you know what? You got a lot of collaborations that you've done.
Yes.
Of course, you started out Discover Casey and JoJo.
Right.
We know you're working with Eric Benet on his label. You've collaborated with Angie Stone. What's next for Calvin Richardson?
Well, next I'm in the studio working on what will be the next project, and it's actually an album that'll be my 7th album that I release, and 7 is a number of completion. That may be my last album. But I've done enough that, it keeps me working, the stuff that I've done. And so I'm really taking my time with this one, if it is, in fact, my last one. I'm not saying that it will be. But, I'm working with Q Parker.
Nice.
I work with him.
Right here from Atlanta, 112.
Yeah, JoJo from Casey and JoJo. We're writing a song together. And Lattimore.
Kenny Lattimore?
No. I can't. Old school Lattimore.
Oh,
Let's straighten it out.
Okay, I'm
Let's
sorry.
straighten it
Yes,
out.
keep it old school.
Right. Yeah. So I'm gonna do something with. He's a legend, and the difference between me. I tell people all the time, like, the great thing about me being able to work the blues markets, the soul market, the R&B market is I was able to connect with a lot of those living legends, and some of them before they passed, and. That's the difference between me and them, because a lot of artists out here right now, they're not connected to their roots. You know what I'm saying? Don't have a real strong understanding musically where we come from. They know about those artists, but they're not connected to them. They don't have a
Embody the
relationship.
essence of.
Yeah. I have a relationship with. I can call them up right now. There's so many different people, that I could that's ready to talk whenever I pick up. If I call, they're gonna answer.
Wonderful. Now, you know what? You said something. Might be your last album.
Yeah.
If you were not singing, if you were not doing music, what would Calvin Richardson be doing?
Well, if this is my last album,
Don't do that.
If this, in fact,
Don't do that.
If that's in fact what you're asking me, if that was my last album,
Yes.
what would I do? Well, I'd still be singing somewhere. Like I said, I have enough music out there that I'm able to continue to tour all the time. Have shows all the time. I stay busy, so I don't know. I'd be in the music field somewhere, writing for somebody, producing somebody, helping them become who they want to be. Or find themselves, because it's important to know who you are when you come into this music game, because it's changed so much. So, I tell people a lot, if you're trying to get into the music business, I think you're going into the wrong business, because the music business has changed so much, like the record sales and all that stuff. But, you have to build a brand, you know what I'm saying? You have to sell yourself rather than the music. The music is just, it's an invitation.
Gotcha. It's got to be on the creative side.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Mr. Calvin Richardson. Go ahead and give them all your handles so they can check you out, follow you here, follow you there.
This will be easy. I am Calvin Richardson. You can catch me. That's my Instagram, my Facebook, I am Calvin. My website is I am Calvin Richardson. Twitter is the only one that don't have Richardson on it. It's I am Calvin. Somebody here, I'm gonna try to find out who did that. They stole my name. They had I am Calvin Richardson, so I couldn't get that one. But that's there. And to order the hats and my designer T-shirts, you go to the CalvinRichardsonExperience.org.
Yes, and he's modeling them, ladies, on that Instagram. So make sure you check it out. So stay fly, Stay you.
I will.
Keep that sound. I love it. It's real music, and we're just so happy to have you.
Thank you. I'm happy to
You're
be sitting here with
welcome.
you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Street, push to the wall, let the junkie go free. Hey, cut across 110th Street. A woman trying to get a trick on the street. Ooh, baby, cut across 110th Street. Listen, you can find it all in the street. I got one more thing I wanna sing right now. If you don't mind, you don't mind. Say you don't mind. Say you don't mind. Say you don't mind. Hey.
Join us every Thursdays for Dinner and Jazz. Doors open at 6:30. Check us out at sweetatl.com for more details.